What's happening, good people? Welcome to Unpopin Show After Show. I'm T-Storm, and DJ Mike Swift is here with me too. What's happening, brother?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. We actually, ran long on the last show and still have more to talk about, so we decided to do an after show. Haven't done one of these in a while. On the way in the door, please pay the cost of admission. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment if you feel so inclined, and share with friends and family who want to laugh a little bit and learn a little bit.
Yes, indeed. I was scrolling through. I saw something.
Did you say you were trolling through? Is it?
What's that? Yes. Because I aspired to be like 50 Cent. So there's a headline. TMZ just ran this exclusive headline that the baby has been. I want to get it right. Let me read it correctly. Bear with me. I'm trying to get back to it. Here it is. The baby charged with felony battery. In an alleged music video attack. Goes on, the baby's facing criminal charges for a beatdown. A man claims he suffered for trying to stop the rapper's entourage from shooting a music video on his property. This incident happened in last December. Left the guy Gary Pajar, however you pronounce his name, with serious injuries. Pajar filed a lawsuit in February claiming he was attacked for enforcing basic property rentals. The baby's crew had rented this place that Pajar manages in LA, and he says he was told that it was going to be a vacation place for the baby and his pals, but he made it clear there was a limit to the guest list. There was a guest limit, no more than 12, and he claims the baby's management team agreed to it in a rental agreement, and he showed up, and there's a video of him getting guys shoved around. The baby, in the video, it doesn't seem he's anywhere near him. You know what I mean? But the guy gets pushed to the ground. The guy that pushed him gets pulled away by somebody else in the entourage, and that's pretty much where it kind of ends. There's words back and forth. I didn't listen to the audio. But the baby's on the other side of a car as they're shooting. Now, if the baby walked over and punched him in the mouth in part of the video that we didn't see, I don't know. But, yeah. What I will say is, we talked about this before, that the video that resurfaced of the baby from an incident that where he shot and killed someone, claimed in self-defense, but in the video, it appears that he's the aggressor going after the young man, and then he's seen pulling a weapon and then shooting the dude and then walking off. This is all, in light of another incident that happened where the baby attacked someone backstage at a show somewhere. So they're seemingly trying to show that, he has a history of violence and usually the aggressor. But in this new incident, what he was charged for, it doesn't. I don't see that sticking. Lawsuit, yeah, sure.
I'm looking through the article just kind of quickly. The man, Mr. Pajar, I'm having trouble with that name also. Pagar. He claims that Mr. Thank Good Awoot was the one who kind of took him down. And then he said,
his name? What's the dude's name again?
Awoot. Thank God. Sorry. Thank God. Awute. I don't know who these people are. Dude in a yellow and black shirt. How about that? We'll call him that.
There you go. Yeah.
He took him down, and he says the dude sucker punched him, knocked his tooth out.
Oh.
Yeah. That wasn't on the video.
Okay.
But, again, the baby didn't do it. I mean, now,
right.
He ultimately is responsible for all of those people. So you got to watch who you have in and around you, in your space, and your crew, and your circle. But he didn't himself do it. Somebody else did it.
See how this pans out. I don't see it really. if it goes to trial, I think
It won't go to trial. He'll pay him some money. He'll pay.
And that's what it's about. And that's what it boils down to. You know,
and far be it from me to be the one to try to find other angles, because I'm not really trying to do that. It just kind of pops in my head. As I don't really listen to the music, but as I understand it, he's good. And he has a very promising career.
Mm-hmm. He did for a while. And then he got put on ice because of what he said on stage about the LGBTQ plus community.
Yes. So I think we are watching a talented young man with promise sabotage his career. He's shooting people. He's popping off at the mouth, saying stuff. He's got baby mama stuff going on all publicly. Like, yeah, man. I think we're watching his demise in real time.
I think the other side of it is these artists that come up, especially now, when they get hot, I wonder if there's anyone in their ear, in their corner that goes, "Hey, listen, it's not going to be like this forever."
No.
The money and influence that you're getting, that you're enjoying right now, it won't always be this way. 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now. So make wise investments. Make wise investments of your time. Make wise investments of people around you. Get this money, invest it, do something, and be prepared for what comes after this. If you're smart, set up your next thing. You can still be an artist, but you may not be making the same type of money. You're not going to be able to afford to pay off everybody you punch in the mouth.
Look,
you know what I mean?
Yes, and I agree. I'm in total agreement. I think the other aspect to it is, and it's an unfortunate aspect. It is not common in all groups the way it is in ours, and that is. You represent all of us, whether you want to or not. So that man rented property to the baby, said, "Hey, only 12 people can be in here." He finds out over time they're shooting a video in there. They got 40 people in there. So the man is like, "Yo, you can't do that." And he get his tooth knocked out over it. Now, folks are going to be less likely to rent high-end property to somebody that looks like us. It is possible that could occur. I'm not saying it is definitely going to occur, but it is possible, and dare I say likely, that could happen. And it's like it's not fair that each one of us represents all of us that way. However, It is true that is the case. So you gotta move a certain way because you're responsible that kind of way.
You know, it's funny, and to hear you say it, I'm glad you said that. I won't say his name, but I have a friend, white gentleman, considers himself to be an ally, and I do too. Good dude in the industry as well, in broadcasting. But we got into a little debate around the time the Will Smith Chris Rock thing jumped off. And my statement was very similar to that, is that Will Smith running up on Chris Rock at one of the whitest events possible, the Oscars, and being violent in their way and then behaving the way he did was a bad reflection on Black folks everywhere. And he didn't understand. Well, his thing was, because people are racist, he's not allowed to stand up for his wife. And I was like, that's not even the issue. And I got frustrated. Like, I don't really have the energy to try to explain this to you. You know what I'm saying? But we understand that it is a thing that because someone that looks like us does something, we are now, they look at us that way as well. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that, everyone doesn't get it. And it's hard to explain. It gets frustrating trying to, make people, especially white people, understand that point that may not be true for them. They're more people in middle America and shoot, even in the cities. Let's not front like it's just middle America. There are just as biased in their thinking, be it subconsciously or not. That is definitely part of the reality of being Black in this country. You know?
Yes. I have nothing else to contribute because yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, when I see and look, and I admittedly I'm not out in the schools and all of that stuff, but I am out a lot. More than I have been in years actually as of late. And I do spend a good bit of time talking to young men, not teenage, but early 20s, mid 20s, 30s. And I talk to them about that kind of thing. I talk to them about how they move and what they consider to be important and chasing women and all that, man. And I will say this. From my experience with doing the field work, to also borrow something from the manosphere, I am encouraged that I see more young Black men who get it, who, when they don't get it, are open to the information than I do ones who are like, oh, you an old head, you don't know what you're talking about. Like so much so that some cats call me OG. They're like, oh, he's OG, he's OG. And I'm like, I ain't that old.
Like, OG.
Like, no, I ain't that old yet. But
I'm going to bring up young folks. I sent you, I emailed you a link.
Yeah, you did.
Instagram.
And I just looked at it. And my heart
shout out to
broke.
Earthquake. Shout out to Earthquake. There were these photos that were floating around on the internet. It's prom season, and there's some beautiful African American teenagers, and I call them beautiful because they are beautiful, dressed up, sharp, with big guns pointing at the camera, male and female. This brother in a, I don't know if I would call that pink, but it looks pink to me. Sharp suit, bow tie, looks good. Was those Gucci shoes? Yep.
Yeah.
And he has some sort of semi-automatic or automatic, two guns in his hand pointing at the camera. Next slide over, there's a sister in a purple gown with a handgun in her, standing next to her on part of the dress, his pants that matches her dress. We'll talk about how ridiculous that looks.
Wait. His pants don't match her dress. His jeans match her dress. His sweatshirt is offset in black to match the purple tie-dye motif of the dress and the jeans, and it appears that maybe those might be Gucci shoes. I can't tell because it's so far away. But I mean, I'm mad at all of this, T. I really am. But I'm really mad that he's going to the prom in blue jeans and a sweatshirt.
Well, purple jeans, purple tie-dye jeans.
Fair enough. I got the color wrong. You're right.
Right. But here's the part that we're missing. And if there are watching this, you can see him and his date are holding weapons. And then at the foot, sitting on her feet, is this big, ridiculous, I don't even know what the hell that is.
It looks like some sort of 12 gauge rifle. Because I'm looking at the shells in the next picture over where it's just her with the semi-automatic something there and the pistol. And then there's another pistol on the ground. And then there's another rifle of some sort. And the shells next to it on the strap look like 12 gauge slugs, for lack of a better term.
And then the guy from the first picture with his date, who's now holding one of the guns that he was holding. And then you see all those photos. And then also the last slide the last photo is of a clip Earthquake put up from Atlanta. People say, and police say 5 teenagers were shot outside of a diner downtown Atlanta. 2 of them took a vehicle at gunpoint to get to the hospital. Actually, they carjacked that vehicle to get to the hospital. Any case, All 5 were reported in stable conditions. They recovered 3 guns. So after seeing these teens, you can't say that it's not related. I mean, maybe not actually related to that actual incident, but just the gun culture and glorifying weapons in that way. You know what I mean?
Is that okay? Because I spend a lot of time in my car alone, and I and I think a lot. And what I was thinking, I think it was like Tuesday of last week, is everything that happens a culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think so. So I don't think there's a gun culture per se as it relates to stuff like this. Now, I do believe that there's a gun culture in the sense of there are people who like guns, people who collect guns, people who shoot, people who hunt, people who sell merchandise, people who make things, right? So the totality of things happening with guns, I think, is at a level where we can say culture. I don't think this is a part of it. I'm sorry, I just don't. Tell me I'm wrong, get in the comments, roast me, whatever. I just don't. I think this is more directly related to idolizing Scarface movies and stuff like that. Idolizing overspending, the glorifying of the negative parts of the human condition. It's so much wrong with this. You said they were dressed sharp. I don't think they're dressed sharp.
I mean,
I don't.
I think, okay, if you take away the guns, I mean, I'm not a fashion icon. I'm not a fashion connoisseur. I know how to put an outfit together. And in my own right, I may take risk in fashion, right? But okay, the brother with the tie-dye, either jeans or sweatpants or whatever they may be. And this brother with the suit, I think it's pretty sharp. I mean, especially for a prom or something like that. It's not the truth. I wouldn't have worn it to prom. I wore actual tuxedo to my prom, right? Old school. Call me old school, whatever case. When I got married, I put on a tux with shoes. I didn't go with the Air Force Ones, anything like that. I was, the traditional dress up sharp. But
okay.
It's fashion is subjective, right? It's subjective. It's art. But I'm just saying this, the outfits are thrown off by the weapons. What is it that you're trying to say?
What are you communicating? Now that's a point we can agree on, because I'm going to push back on the outfit thing in a second. But on the adding the guns, no matter what they're wearing, adding the guns to it, you're communicating something. And it's something I used to tell one of my homegirls who got into radio, and I'm going to try to do this without doxing her. She got into radio and knew nothing about the format that she was working in, and generally not accepted by that community based on her race.
Okay.
And I would tell her, one day you are going to be called to answer for what you claim to know, what you put out there, what you communicate you are. You're going to be called to answer for that. So educate yourself on it. Be ready. They're communicating something that they don't want to be called to answer for. You're standing up and you're pointing guns at a camera, and oh my God, it's so much wrong. And we came over here to talk about Jerrod Carmichael. Then you showed me this. You showed me this. I'm gonna be stuck on this. So first, let me push back on the outfit thing. If they were going somewhere other than prom, I would say, all right, do it. I wouldn't personally choose pink, but whatever, bro, do it. But because you are going to prom is where I have an issue.
Yeah.
We don't, as men now, we don't have rites of passage anymore. We don't have a thing or a time or something that takes us from the responsibilities of being a boy to the responsibilities of being a man. One of the last things like that was around was the prom. When people think of it as, oh, they just going to a party. No, here's what's actually happening. You're going to a parent's home as a man and saying, give me your daughter for the night. I will make sure she's safe and taken care of. I will show her a good time and I will return her to you at a reasonable hour, happier than when she left and in good condition and shape, right? She ain't gonna get broken or injured or nothing. You are now stepping in as a man for the first time in your life, presumably, to take responsibility for a woman that way. That's what the prom is. It's not a time to. So why? What does that have to do with the outfit? Dress for the occasion. If you're trying to show up as a man, dress as a man. That's not dressed as a man. That's not what men dress like. Let me put it back up. That's not for that occasion. For something else, sure. But for that occasion with the responsibility and what you're stepping into, put on your damn tux. Get the shiny shoes and make sure you can see your reflection in them. Get your tie tied right. Get your smell goods on. Make sure you got the boutonniere going. Make sure you got her flower, whether it's going to be a wrist corsage or a pin-on corsage. Know how to pin it on. Make sure your hair is cut and your lines is straight. Make sure your car is washed. Show up. Show up.
I mean, okay, to your point, I can agree to that. I can agree with you on that. Again, fashion is considered art, and subjective. But here's to all that you said, again, I agree. It makes me go, and it's what Earthquake posted in his post. Where are the parents? Where are the parents here? Who signed off on, this is a good idea to dress this way? Subjective, again. But the weapons, taking pictures with it, I am a legal owner of weapons, right? I don't take pictures with my weapons. And there was, I don't even, early on when I first started going to the gun range, I would take video and post up the video. I stopped doing that because it can be misconstrued for something else, right? So I no longer do that.
It can be misconstrued it can be misconstrued for something else, and it can affect how people deal with you who have not dealt with you yet. They are now dealing with you as a gun owner who shoots instead of as T Storm.
Right.
It carries a weight. And I really want young people to understand that. There is a weight that is carried with what is being portrayed in this image on the screen. And look, I'm just going to keep it 100. If you showed up at my door to take my daughter to the prom and you had on sneakers, jeans, and a sweatshirt, she ain't going. She can be as mad at me as she want to be. You can be sour. She ain't going. She ain't going.
Yeah. Again, parents are a part of the outfits. When my sons went to their prom, I took them to get suits. I'm old school. They were in tux. They rocked tux, shoes. I took them to get. Actually, did I rent them a tux or did I buy them a suit? No, I bought them a suit. I bought them a suit because I wanted them to own it instead of renting a tux. And I bought them suit, shoes, shirt, everything tailored. The tailor fixed everything on him, whatever. And I took him over to meet his prom date. We took pictures of his prom date. Had issue with the family. Had a little issue with the family in my mind. I didn't say it out loud, but in my mind, I was judging. Let's just say that. I won't go any further because it was my son Tyler. It was his girlfriend at the time, and some things had went down, and I was not. It was like, see the family, see the kid. What's the kind of family is what type of family is this girl coming from? And then I saw the family and was like, aha. Needless to say, that relationship didn't last very long. One, because we moved. Two, it wasn't, well, anyway. Hi, Tyler. Love you.
He's like, Dad, stop talking. I hit her up last week. Stop.
It's right. I hope not. Any case, all that to say, where are the parents? I can go back to what I said. Where was the parents? Who signed off on these outfits and these guns and these things that they're doing in the picture? Are they were okay with this, or are these kids on their own doing this?
Okay,
you
can't. Okay, that's Gucci. Now it might not be real Gucci. If it's real Gucci, it's hella expensive. If it's fake Gucci and he had to have it put together, it's still expensive, but not as expensive as real Gucci. So
right.
Either he got a bomb job at 17, 18, or somebody paid for it that's a parental unit of some sort.
Right. Yeah, it brings more questions than answers, and it's really disappointing. And going back to what we said earlier, looking at them casts the shadow on all of us.
But this is
like,
I'm sorry, I want to shut up about it, but I keep looking at it. I need to stop. This is what really is bugging me now. I look at the faces of these kids, and I'm making this judgment based on just these pictures of what I see.
Mm-hmm. They could be A students. They could be A students going to, reputable colleges and have scholarships. Could be these.
But that's exactly what I was gonna say. That's exactly what I was gonna say. When I look at these pictures, I look at their faces. They don't look like bad kids.
Right.
They don't look like bad kids, man. They don't look like bad kids to me. They just look like kids. And I Lord knows I did my fair share of stupid stuff when I was a kid, but I didn't get shot over it. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't look like bad kids. It just looks like, and honestly, not even, okay. Outfits withstanding, because it's a matter of taste. I feel strongly about it, but it is a matter of taste. So outfits withstanding, at the start, looking at the pictures at the start, it wasn't so bad, right? Questionable, shouldn't be done, bad idea, wouldn't recommend it, where your mama at, all of that, but not that bad. Now, when you start shooting, carjacking, and you carjacking because you got shot, and you got to get to the hospital, right? That kind of makes sense.
Now, I want to separate. These are two different things happening. The kids in these pictures, the kids in these pictures are not were not involved in a police matter. Okay.
So then that makes my statement all the more. And I'm glad you made that point of clarification, because I thought because the things were associated that those were the kids.
No. Not to my knowledge. No.
So based on what I see in the photos, just some bad choices, not bad kids.
Yeah. But again, that goes back to, you're taking pictures with guns, and then there were, did they put them in the house before they went to prom?
Hopefully they're not real.
Or did they don't look like they're fake.
Look, I will say this. I recently saw an air rifle, like a pellet gun, that was made to look like an AR. That fucker looked just like an AR.
Okay.
And I was like, and a kid had it, and I was like, bro, don't you take this out the house. Don't you do it, because you're going to get shot.
Man, I don't know if I told this story before, but I think it's worth telling it again. When I lived in Chicago, the Tamir Rice incident had just happened. Young man he had a toy gun and was killed in less than 30 seconds of police showing up and just killed him. I don't even think he was a teenager. And so I was in Chicago. I was living in Chicago at the time. I was on my way to work. I was walking down towards the train station. And these kids, they were out of school on this particular day. Black boys, about 3, maybe 4 of them, riding bikes past me. And one of the kids had a colorful, like, water gun of some sort, something. I don't know if it was an air gun or whatever, or water gun or whatever it was, but it was colorful, right? And they were just playing. They couldn't have been no older than 10 years old, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, maybe 11, if that old, but young boys. And they rolled past me. It was, not cussing and nothing like that. They was just playing and being kids, and stopped at the corner, right? And so they were waiting for the light to change, and they were there long enough for me, to catch up to them at the light. And something just told me to speak to him. And I said to him, hey, little man, I know you watch the news. Why don't you put that away? Because we won't want anything to happen to you out here. You know what I mean? I know it's clear. And I said to him, clearly, it's a toy, but sometimes that don't matter. I want you to put that away. And he said, okay. His other friend that was there was like, yeah, that's what we told him too. Right? He was like, yeah, we said the same thing. Da, 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 da. And then they're kids. They quickly they looked at my sneakers. I had these new Jordans on. It was pretty fresh. And it was like, oh, yo, you see, he got the new Jordans. Da, 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 da. I had a Brooklyn Nets hat on. They looked at my hat. It was like, oh, yo, they play Chicago today, right? I was like, yeah, I want to check it out. All right. And then they were off. Went about their business. But that one little interaction, and I wrote this story and I posted about it, and people were like, well, I think you one of the people that saw me post on it, understood the gravity of that. You know what I mean? So if they're making air guns that look like actual guns, it don't even matter.
Like the tip of it ain't painted orange or nothing. It's black. And I was like, oh, bro.
Yeah.
No.
The sad truth is, you can get as a black person in this country, you can get killed with a toy, and it looked like a toy.
Well, the kid who had it wasn't black.
No, what I'm saying, okay, well then that's that. But you couldn't hold that. You couldn't be walking around with it.
No, the way that gun looked, he couldn't either. If he walked down the street holding that in his hand, because in his mind it's a toy, but in somebody else who saw him, mine is not. Oh, the neighbor's gonna call. The neighbor's gonna call. Yeah. Because without going too far into it of who he is or whatever, he has the look of a group that is also stereotyped for shooting. And I'll leave that at that. So
I can make fun of that real quick, but I won't.
You got some Kim Kardashian jokes on deck?
Yeah,
Shooting up the club.
Type stuff.
Get me off of this. Let's talk about this, Mr. Carmichael, because I'm gonna be stuck on this. I'm even just taking the pictures down, so I can't see it no more.
All right. So Jerrod Carmichael had been doing the rounds. I haven't watched his new special yet.
Neither have
I. He has a new stand-up comedy special on HBO Max. I'm a fan of Jerrod Carmichael. I watched the Jerrod Carmichael show,
which was funny. That show was hilarious.
And I wish it was still around, but you watch the repeats if you've never seen it. I think it's at least 2 seasons of it.
He got canceled. That show got canceled because I can't remember what topic it was, but he took on a topic that they told him not to take on. He did it anyway. He did it. It was funny, respectful, insightful. And it was I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was around something negative like a police shooting or something like that. And he addressed it, and he did a great job of it, and they canceled him over it. And I was very upset about that, but that show was really good.
Yeah. But in his latest stand-up special, I'm sure if you keep up with it, if you've seen it, if you know who Jerrod Carmichael is, you've heard this already, but he came out as gay. which was surprising to everyone but his boyfriend. And
that was funny. That was funny. I like that.
Everyone was surprised except his boyfriend. I don't know how. But
I have a much worse joke going on in my head right now.
No, keep it. Hey, listen, come on now. Let's keep it together, man. Sorry, folks. House cleaner here. All right, now, Mike. Okay, so in any case, so he was doing the rounds promoting his special, and he made an appearance on with one, he hosted SNL, which was cool, which was pretty funny. I saw it. He hosted SNL, and then soon after, either the next day, that Monday or Tuesday after he did it, he appeared with Seth Meyers on the Late Show, whatever Seth Meyers show was called on NBC, and he was noticeably kind of disheveled and, you know, a little all over the place because he was processing an incident that he had just had with his family. I won't play the audio from it, but just kind of, he mentioned that when he came out to his family first before the special came out, and that his family, his mom, dad, are pretty religious, as he puts it. And he said something like, that his mom is kind of a little in denial, so he has to come out to her like every other conversation because she denies it, right? And he talked about he had just talked to his family in the car on his way to Seth Meyers' show, and his mom said something to the effect of like, your sins are tearing this family apart. Now, whatever your position is on homosexuality, that's your position on it, and I won't delve into that. But just the family dynamic of accepting a person for who they say they are, I think everybody can kind of,
look, at the end of the day, no matter, outside of being a violent individual or something like that, you want your family at the very least to love and accept you.
Right.
And I can't imagine being told something like that from my parents or saying something like that to my children. I can't imagine.
Yeah. Because you don't want family to push away. You don't want to push away your own family.
And for what reason, right? Like if my son or daughter were running around shooting people and kicking puppies and just being outright bad individuals and bad citizens with, showing no signs of redemption, I might be like, ooh, I can't. But sans that, I can't think of anything that my children would say or do or tell me that would make me shun them. I can't get my head around it.
So recently he was on Howard Stern show, and it's a 2-minute clip, so I'm not going to play the full. It's almost 3 minutes. I won't play the entire clip, but the headline is saying that he has since kind of separated from his mom, saying there is I think the quote was like, there's a God-sized wall between them. And early in the clip, he's talking about the kind of that he's into.
Yeah, we cannot play that because YouTube will not be okay with that. Sorry.
Even that word I just said may actually cause YouTube to.
Yeah, nobody who's watching it on YouTube is going to hear it. I gotta take that out.
The adult videos, the adult entertainment that he's into. That's better.
Much.
But I won't play that part. But I think it's interesting some of the other stuff he had to say. So Listen.
And so I would like,
so
yeah. So
it's
but
probably going to happen.
But I don't have Twitter and Instagram, so like all I have is this moment, Howard, and I'm like, please have me back so I can have a list.
I will have you back.
I would like to have a list of stars that
come in with a list of people. Now, you even said that you would watch straight to try to, when you were a kid and you were so angry with yourself for being gay, you'd say, I'd watch gay. And then after I was done with that, I'd go and watch straight.
I used to, and this is the place to talk very truthfully about it. How silly is this psychologically? I would, like, as a teenager, like, off the gay, feel the wrath of God's judgment, and then go off to straight as if it cleansed it, as if that was the lamb's blood to wash away the gay sin. Silly. It's silly what it does. Shame is crazy.
Well, first of all, I applaud your libido, because the fact that you could off immediately after off the gay and then get the straight.
They don't call me no refractory rod for nothing, Howard.
Was it horrible to have to make love to women? Because
I love that.
In other words, it's disgusting.
No. And I'm really good at eating pussy, and it's a shame that I just
what a waste.
Just a skill that's just yeah. I'm like Bill Withers. I retired early and I just went back to Georgia.
Okay, that is not the clip at all what I thought it was going to be.
That one was interesting, though.
That is not at all what I thought it was going to be. Mind you, people, we don't really preview all the clips because we're responding in real time as we're hearing it for the first time most of the time.
Yeah.
That's not
real
what
time with no
edits. With no edits, right? So, interesting. But all that to say, he says, he got a text from his father saying, "Hey, your mom called the other day, so take some time to call her. She loves you and misses her baby boy." He responded and saying, he said, "What I wrote back was, I know I love her too, but her baby boy is now a big gay man, and I think we need some time to come to terms with that." And that's where we are.
I am instantly curious what her issue is, right? Because I've talked to I'm picking the right language. Folks who are not in support of that community, the alphabet community, and how they live and love.
Right.
And when you talk to people, you can get a very specific reason, right? I wonder what her very specific reason is, or is she just mourning the loss of what she wanted for her son, what she thought her son should be based on what she wanted, right? It had nothing to do with what he wants. But my son's going to grow up to be this, and he's going to marry this, and he's going to do this. And is she just mourning the loss of that ideal? Or is it a very specific reason, you know?
I will not attempt to speak for her.
Fair enough.
But I can imagine possibly maybe it's embarrassment. If she, if he's described there as being as religious, it could be embarrassment that her son. It's like if a pastor, that preaches that homosexuality is a sin. And then that pastor's child is, comes out as gay. There's judgment to the pastor from his from his following. Like, oh, what did you, what's that about? So maybe it's something along those lines.
I can see that. I can. For that pastor, I would say, don't take responsibility for something that's out of your control, and love your kid.
Right.
Right? It's
and you know, and you know, as I get older, my level of understanding and you know, and how I process and think about things changes, right? I don't think the same way I thought when I was 17, 18 and, you know, evolve. And so I have family members that are gay, right? And, you know, at the end of the day, we family. And I had, you know, even one of my cousins, it was surprising to me that and it's still surprising because it's like, you got kids. What happened between... Was it that bad that you switched over, or was it always, you know, it was one of those things? But with family, you know, depending on the relationship, it can have these type of talks with her. And I had a talk with her, and you know, she didn't identify at that time as gay. I don't even know now if she does, but she was in a relationship with a woman. And I asked her, so are you gay? She said, no, it's not that. I just like this person. Like, all right, Fred, listen. And I said, hey, listen, whatever. You know, it's not going to change how I feel about you or how I talk to you or how I treat you. So whatever you know, hope you're happy with it. Whatever. Be happy. And that was the last convo we had about it. You know, several relationships later, she's still with other women or whatever. You know, maybe one day we'll go, okay, so you ready to own a label now or nah? Okay, you know, it's not important. Don't worry about it.
I think that's the part. And I actually talk to my 12-year-old, about to be 13-year-old daughter about this kind of stuff all the time, because it is very, very, very prevalent in her age group, in her friend group, in her school. They have these discussions, right? So if you're a parent and you think, you know, your kids aren't having this discussion unless they're having it with you, you are sorely mistaken. They are having these discussions. So, you know, I try to keep an open line of communication with my daughter about it and let her talk about it freely. And we talk, and, you know, in some cases we laugh, in some cases we don't. But I tell her all the time, you got to be patient with your daddy, because you living in a world that is foreign to me. Like, I don't know. Some folk like to be labeled. Some folk don't want to be labeled. Some folk take the label of not being labeled or not having labels. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I freely admit I don't know. So if I offend you with my not knowing, I apologize in advance. Just let me know, and I'll address you however you choose or want to be addressed. But it's a lot to get your head around. It really is. And I think I might have said this on the show before. In the capacity that I previously held in my day job, I had to study labels for the LGBTQ plus community, which is not even that anymore. It's some more letters in there if you want to be accurate. But the number of designations was staggering. Like I just didn't even, I was like, there's no way I'm going to remember all of this. I'm just not. Just with how people identify. I was like, I can't remember it all. So just give your boy some grace. Yeah.
I'm not even trying. Like, I'm on some Will Jada. Keep my name out you. Keep my wife's name out you. Yeah, I'll just keep it out of my mouth because I may not get it right. The understanding the pronouns and all that type of stuff, that's hard. Like, and then there's some people that, you know, that are clearly assigned female or male or whatever that don't want to be addressed as sir, ma'am, his, her, or whatever. They have, I don't know how to. And so then you have to figure out it or them.
Well, I think is an insult.
Okay.
I think it's them, they.
There.
Them, they, there.
Them. Yeah. Is that the safest way to? And then if you call someone a them, that's a him. They go, why are you calling me them? Like,
Look, honestly,
My
the
bad.
safest thing to do is just ask.
really?
How do you prefer to be addressed? That's the safest thing to do.
Okay.
Because otherwise,
Noted.
there's no way to know. There's absolutely no way to know.
I mean, and I guess this is a sign of me being older. Because it's a little confusing to me. But I've seen some people now put their pronouns in their email.
Yeah. A lot of companies moved to that in 2019, 2018.
Okay.
Because I know my company definitely did. And it's giving, look, I don't have a problem with that, right? It's giving people an opportunity to let you know what their preference is.
Right.
And, you give them an opportunity to respectfully address them the way that they want to be respected or addressed. I didn't have a problem with that. Yeah. Not even a little problem with it. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Now, personally, I didn't do that. I didn't put pronouns in my email. I think I did put it on Instagram though. I think I did put in pronouns on Instagram.
I feel like I have my instinct, because of my humor, would be to put something funny, but that might be viewed as insensitive.
Oh, it definitely will be.
So can't do that. The punchline back in the day was always a man calling and like phone, like in the days of phone pranks, and identifying as a female with a deep voice, and what I mean. That was like the punchline. That's no longer acceptable now because there are actual people that identify with the deep voice or whatever. So in any case, it's one of the things that kind of evolve with the times, and be patient with me. Get patience, please.
Right. Speaking of patience, and I hate to bring them up because I know you tired of talking about them. Will and Jada.
Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth.
You actually sounded like him.
Because I've studied this thing to ad nauseum, to the point that I played it on the show when it first happened. I did a whole song with it,
which was hilarious. So my man went to India. He was like, I just need some time. I just need to get away. I need to breathe, get my head right. I'm losing deals. He lost his Sony deal. He lost a Netflix deal.
Oh, everything for the most part. I believe, and no one said so. No one said anything to it, but I believe the Bel-Air project, the show, that wrapped the same week, that Thursday after the incident, will not be coming back. At least not immediately. I believe that it's not been announced, but I think it'll just quietly not come back for season 2 right away.
Yeah.
Because the main character is named Will Smith. Like, can't have that. And shout out to Marlon Wayans, who's in that final episode.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it.
He is phenomenal. He has grown as an actor. And there's so much that if you find out that they ad-libbed in the show, there's a line that he said. There's a line he goes, "Man, take that bass out. Who are you talking to? Take that bass out your voice." Like, that wasn't written. That was Marlon. Marlon Wayne plays Will Smith's biological father on Bel-Air.
Oh, okay.
And he shows up in the last episode, and they have interaction. It's all based on the sitcom. So if you remember, I think Ben Vereen played his father.
Yep.
On Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he was in that storyline was a little different than what happened here, but the dynamic is still the same. He ends up, if you saw it, you saw it. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to ruin it I won't ruin it for everyone, but worth watching because you ain't gonna see season 2 anytime soon. So
well, we thought we wasn't gonna see Will anytime soon because my man dipped out to India to get his head right. He lands, get in the hotel, check in, and I'm fictionalizing this a little bit. Checks into the hotel. Oh, I'm fictionalizing it a lot. He get his cucumber water, get his cucumber slices on his eyes, in his fluffy hotel robe, and then Will, open the door. It's Jada. Why she following to India, bro? Why she go?
Cause she know he's gonna have an entanglement. He's gonna be entangling. There's a whole lot of entangling that's about to happen in India.
What? The first thing she did before she got on the plane was figure out where Kim Kardashian was.
Every time a black man's in trouble, Kim Kardashian gets a funny tingle behind her ear.
I'm sorry, that is not true. Every time it's a rich black man. Get it right. Yes.
It's like a spider sense. It's her WAP sense. So it's the Kardashian tingle.
Oh no. Let's get off of Kim. Get off of Kim. But yeah, I feel so bad for this brother.
I mean, he might have called her over. You don't know. We don't know.
You're right. I mean, they could have planned it as a family. He went out first and then she followed. But he needed to just go be by himself for a little while. Just chill, man. Just chill. Hide out in India. Call Dave Chappelle. Figure out where Dave Chappelle went and get the keys to that cabin and go stay there for a little while.
Right. Yeah. Well, God bless him.
I think he can and will bounce back from this. I really do.
I know he will. I am a fan of Will Smith. I am a fan of Fresh Prince. Like, go back to Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble. I am a fan. Music, movies, TV, all that. I think what he has done and accomplished in entertainment is definitely to be commended. And if not for that slap, he had a very worthwhile, a very, very much earned Oscar that night. And, but it's now also part of history that he ruined not only his moment, but everyone else's that night. So
takes 20 years to build it and 2 seconds to lose it. Tear it all down.
Yeah, man. Anyway, I think we can wrap.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Follow us on all socials at Unpopin Show. Our website, unpopinshow.com. And spread the word. Stick with us. Thank you for being a part of this Unpopin community. And if you're wondering, Unpopping, it's short for unpopular opinion because, while most things in the world stupid or celebrated, we are proud to represent the unpopular opinion. In case you was ever wondering. Peace.